Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Ruwell. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. And was in his gospel, brought lifting up the standard of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. This is by Survival Lily. I came across this page earlier, and now she's basically going into the situation in Europe, which this is a 3-part series that she's done with part 1, part 2. She's done roughly 2 weeks and 8 days ago. And we know that the European Union or Europe is on high alert due to escalating tensions between Russia, Ukraine, the EU, and America. You know, the whole thing with the Houthis and Israel and the war that's taking place in what they call the Middle East. You know, we're in a time of war, and everybody seems to be getting prepared, but you dumbass Americans, you seem to have a care in the world as to what the hell is going on around you. And this is why Yahweh Shai say that it's going to come as a thief in the night, because the average person here in America, they don't consider the facts. And for one thing, they're too puffed up with pride to even believe that World War III will take place on the soils of America, or it will extend to this side of the world, which the great deliverance and majority of the Israelites will be delivered from the Western Hemisphere. Okay, so all hell was getting ready to break loose, and the prophets are warning you, and that's what makes it, and that's what makes it that much more greater of a destruction, because we warn you, and we've been telling you, the men of the Lord, the prophets. And we've been straight up telling you that, look, all hell was going to break loose. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is going to send war on the soils of America in the form of civil war, class wars, race wars, okay, food shortages, famines, pestilence, okay? And we're looking like we're very close as they switch over to this new digital system, which will aid in the dollar collapse, which I believe, in my humble opinion, will usher in the war of Armageddon once the dollar collapses and they institute the chip. Okay, so without further delay, I'll play a couple of minutes of this video and get a couple of precepts, and the rest is history. So here we go.
Hey guys, my name is Lily, and today I want to give you a small update video on the news here in Europe. And first of all, I would like to show you this very concerning video.
It's Ajalabi. Welcome to What's in My Bag Survival Edition. First up, my glasses. Super important if you want to see what is happening or not. Next, my document in a waterproof pouch. A must in a rainy Brussels. Now, let's talk about lighting. I have a flashlight. If you don't forget the matches and of course, the light. Turn. And water, of course, because water is life. And my special friend, a Swiss Army knife. 18 tools in only one knife. A must-have. And don't forget your medication. You might need it, because you never know. And don't forget something to eat. You might be hungry, very hungry. And of course, some cash. In the middle of a crisis, cash is king, and your credit card might just be a piece of plastic, a charger, and a power bank, because a dead phone is a dead end. Playing cards, a bit of distraction, never hurt anyone. And don't forget a radio.
And even though this seems like kind of a parody, the fact that these other governments have warned their citizens to get prepared for war, and your government don't give a fuck about you, that shows you right there. I remember back in maybe 2023, early 24, Putin was warning citizens. They got the ability to purchase bunkers. Please do so, because the heightened tensions between the West and the East, tensions are heightened due to the war with Ukraine, as America sends to seek negotiation deals with Russia to stop bombing the hell out of Ukraine. Now this guy Trump is talking about he's pissed off at Putin because they haven't come to some type of formal agreement. But for one thing, when you set up proxies to do your bidding and to come with a certain outcome, and the opposing force catches on to it, the hell you think they're going to do? Okay, Russia have their reasons on why the fuck they're bombing Ukraine, and the West stay out of it. But unlike this devil, he butts in everybody's affairs, and he wonders why he's not. The scriptures say, "He that meddleth much should not be innocent." You know, so World War III, war drums is beating, and louder than ever, and prophecy is literally jumping off the pages, man. All right, so get this in the book of Joel 3. And I'm going to start at verses 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, and prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, and let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. And beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say, I am strong." Okay, so this is allegorical for war, because it says pruning hooks, meaning this is a wartime economy. Now the ordeal is nuclear war. Okay, beat your plowshares, which a plowshare is nothing more but a garden tool, or like a working tool, but he's using it in a metaphorical sense to say, look, declare war, declare your weapons of war. And this is why everybody's testing nuclear missiles, they're testing the ICBMs off against the West, because we in them times, as Yahweh Shem Yahushua predicted. And it says, and let the weak say, I'm strong. You got Ukraine, you got North Korea, you got Iran. Okay, all these nations are bucking up against the West, because even the West is bucking up against the West, because they're tired of America being that forefront and the spearhead of Western hegemony, you know, interfering in everybody's business and policing people and putting certain sanctions on people. Like this dude said he wants to put sanctions on Russia again, on crude oil, but you got to understand that Russia don't need you, okay, nor China, nor parts of the EU. So you're really doing yourself a disservice. All right. But it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, to the cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. All right.
The smaller one. This is everything you need to survive the first 72 hours of a crisis. Speaking about being prepared, the EU is preparing its strategy to be sure that every citizen is safe in case of crisis. Be prepared, be safe.
Okay, so this is a really concerning video. So this lady is showing how you can prepare a emergency survival bag. So it's not an elaborate bug-out bag that she's recommending, but just a small 72-hour survival kit, which gives you enough of time to maybe flee your home, your town, or your country. So yeah, I'm concerned about this video, and that's because 10 years ago, they were always picking on preppers and saying that preppers were weirdos, and now they are publicly asking citizens to prepare. So they would only do that if they really had planned something, maybe getting involved with the war in Russia, I don't know. But all of this is very concerning. And at the end she's saying,
Speaking about being prepared, the EU is preparing its strategy to be sure that every citizen is safe in case of crisis.
And the funny part about it is, you can't prepare for nuclear war. It's just if the Lord allows you to survive the shit or not. If you ain't of the elect, you're not going to survive it. But the good news is, parts of Europe, it's not going to all be destroyed. Parts of Russia, it's not going to all be destroyed. But Israel and America will totally be decimated. But to show you why these people are preparing, what are you people over here doing? Going to fucking nightclubs, twerking, worried about your 401k, trying to get raises on a job, taxes, turning up, taking out girls' whole trip. You know what I'm saying? Got Keisha talking about, I want to go to Thailand. Nobody wants your funky ass over there, man. All right? Go get a fucking Airbnb in Houston and fucking call it a day and be happy. Because that's the extent of your travel plans, all right? You're bound, all right? But the other nations are preparing for war. And you got dumb fucking Americans still eating goddamn fast food and putting the shit on Klarna. You people are absolutely through, all right? And deservingly so. And it says here, and assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens, and gather yourselves together round about, and thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. And let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, And it says, for I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. So the Most High is piling everybody up into one big area so he can destroy all they ass. Because according to Revelation 12, these nations are going to come against Yahushua in 2nd Esdras 13. So he's getting them all together into one big area to destroy them, which is what you call the Fertile Crescent over there with the land of Israel harbors, Iran in that area, in that Mesopotamian area, which Mesopotamia is really Iraq, but in that so-called Middle Eastern region, Western Asia or Eurasia, as Elder Malcolm would like to say. But you notice this is where all the tension is going to take place. Okay? And it says here, and put ye in a sickle, for the harvest is ripe, and come and get you down, for the press is full, and the fats overflow, and their wickedness is great. All right? So like I said, while you people in the West are playing games, your government don't even warn you as to what the hell is happening, which shows you they don't give a fuck about you. And why should they? Okay? Because like I said, man, you dudes are, the West, it's stupid, man. This is the book of Ezekiel 38. And I'm going to start at verses. Let's start at verses 10. And it says here, thus says the Lord Yahweh, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest. Okay, because I mean, you're literally acting like this world is not on the brink of World War III. I mean, the world is literally at war right now, and the American people are concerned with, you know, I mean, and I get it, you know, shit is high as hell, shit is expensive, but you got bigger fish to fry, man, all right? Because you're literally sitting in a place that's getting ready to get hit, all right? And if you don't have the necessary means to get the hell out of this society before the missiles drop, and you ain't of the Lord's elect, you are going to get caught up in this nuclear destruction. And that's a guarantee, you know? So while you worrying about minute shit, about trying to find, I mean, you know, and you have to sustain yourself, but what type of car you getting ready to get next year, what type of fucking trip you're going to take, you won't have missiles flying over your head in a little bit, man, once the MOTB is passed. Like, prime example, how stupid these people are, especially these damn women. Like, a chick I have a 2021, she may have 40, 50,000 miles on her car, which is still relatively decent, still pretty new. But then this bitch, 15 grand, and a car she ain't even remotely pay off, and she'll trade that fucking car in and go get a 2026 Cadillac or Mercedes or BMW to be upside down, another 20 bands in a fucking loan, just to say she got a foreign car, just so she can stunt or just so she can pick up her whole friends and make it seem like she's living a life. Stupid shit. But yet, the Europeans are preparing for war, man, because they know what's up. And it says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, which is America, and I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil, and to take a prey, and to turn my hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, and that dwell in the midst of the land. So there's going to be a purging here as well. And the missiles will hit here because the scriptures say that they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, which that's talking about America, man. You know? So let's get one more precept. Now I end it. Jake doing about 100 things at once, so Salakia. Matter of fact, let's get it in Luke. Get that in Luke. Actually, you know what? Nope. Let's get it in Mark. Yeah, so this is the book of Matthew 24. And the Lord, he gave us a parable. Matter of fact, Matthew 24, and let's start at verses 37. It says, but as in the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Okay, and the Son of Man is Yahweh Shai, for those of you that didn't know. And it says, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving into marriage, until that day that Noah entered the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall come and be the Son of Man. Because like we said, man, the government fails to warn their citizens that any impending danger is nigh. Like if your leaders of the Western world gave any types of shits about you, they would literally tell you, or they would literally finance bunkers so you people can house yourselves and be cool. You know what I'm saying? In case the shit blow over, which it won't blow over, because the destruction is going to destroy this place. So you can build the deepest bunker here and you will still be totally eviscerated, because that's the judgment of the Heavenly Father. But just common fucking courtesy of a people that literally buys into your system to keep this dollar floating. You would think he would say, well, look, you people get prepared, man, because shit is happening. But they understand that the American people are so fucking bugged out that any form of trouble, you just fucking panic, because they thrive the society off fear. Okay, the average person here is scared, and this is why everybody sleeps with the doors locked, which is safety, of course. But, you know, everybody sleep with the doors locked. They walk around with fucking pistols on them. You know, they're nervous. They're paranoid. They all on they medicated up. The food is horrible. It's like these people are through, you know. So if you see in those movies, they don't like to tell the people that something is getting ready to happen because they're afraid of a public outcry or a public panic. Well, what the hell you think, man, when you build the society off fear? So these people, they through, man. You know what I'm saying? They gonna still be eating fucking McDonald's the minute that the missiles drop, man, you know? But anyway, with that, I'm gonna end it. Giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to you. How about Shim, how Shai? Lord's will, you are edified. To the next lesson. Shalom.
Be prepared, be safe.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that they are preparing to keep us safe, honestly. I don't think they care about us at all. That's my personal opinion. They don't care about the soldiers who are dying on the battlefield. Of course, politicians or important people will never send their kids or grandkids into war, so it's always peasants.
I'm probably the only person online who shares every single one of my trades completely for free.
Good to see you, Yuka.
Hi, Jenny.
The European Union wants people to keep 3-day survival kits at home. What's that about?
Yeah, Jenny, prepare for war and disaster. That's the message, although Brussels may not want to be seen as alarmist. The EU's Crisis Management Commissioner, Hadja Labib, posted this video on social media with advice on what people should carry around, including cash, a radio and a Swiss Army knife. This as the blog urged citizens across the continent to stockpile food, water, essentials to last at least 72 hours in case of a crisis. At a press conference, Labib said European security is threatened not just by war, but cyber attacks, climate change and disease. She also called for building up the EU's strategic reserves of critical resources. Let's take a listen.
This strategic reserve helped the EU respond to every type of emergency with firefighting planes, stockpiles of vital medical, energy and transport equipment and specialized assets against chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear threats.
So across the channel, the UK is also boosting defence spending.
Well, at her spring statement giving an update on the budget, Finance Minister Rachel Reeves confirmed an extra £2.2 billion would be spent on the country's defence over the next year. But the government also halved its growth forecast for 2025 from its previous estimate, with Reeves announcing cuts to her spending plans. The Labour government is trying to walk a fine line between reducing its debt and avoiding a repeat of anything that could be seen as austerity. Luke Schrager has the details.
With the UK economy now predicted to grow by just 1% this year, British Finance Minister Rachel Reeves argued before Parliament for restraint on Wednesday.
I said that our fiscal rules were non-negotiable, and I meant it. I will always deliver economic stability, and I will always put working people first.
Borrowing costs are on the rise too, threatening a fiscal buffer of £9.9 billion or €11.8 billion with Reeves hoping to balance public spending with tax revenue by 2030. A key aim is to cut costs for running the government by 15% over 5 years, for savings of around £2 billion or nearly €2.4 billion. But welfare spending plans have also been slashed, leading to concern that the centre-left Labour government is risking leaving up to 250,000 people in poverty. Against the backdrop of the Ukraine war, though, and a new political direction for the US, British defence spending is now set to reach its highest level since the end of the Cold War.
Because we are living in an uncertain world, as the Prime Minister has set out, we will increase defence spending to 2.5% of GDP, reducing overseas aid to 0.3% of gross national income.
In one brighter spot, inflation dropped more than predicted from 3 to 2.8%, though remains above the Bank of England's 2% target.
Let's have a quick check on the day's trading action. Markets moved cautiously as Donald Trump is set to unveil his new round of tariffs, this time targeting cars. On Wall Street, the Dow closed more than 100 points lower, the S&P 500 lost more than 1%, and the Nasdaq sank 2%, as you can see. Earlier, European bourses finished on a mixed note, with London staying in the green, but Frankfurt and Paris both reversing the previous day's gains.
And Yuka, Donald Trump's tariff war has sparked angry responses in countries targeted by it. Now, a new survey shows a majority of French adults support the idea of boycotting American goods.
Yeah, this is an online survey of 1,000 people over 18 by IFOF, commissioned by the French travel site nyc.fr in mid-March, showing more than 60% of respondents thought it was a good idea to boycott American goods, while overall sentiment towards the US hit the lowest level in 4 decades. Brian Quinn and our colleagues at France Télévisions have more.
This French farmer grows barley in the north of the country. Recently, though, he's taken up a new hobby: organizing a Facebook group for boycotting American products.
We publish alternatives that are made in France. We share stories and encourage each other. We are really under the boot of the Americans.
Thousands of people have joined his group, a sign of a larger movement gaining steam. A new survey shows 62% of French people support the idea of boycotting American businesses. Across Europe, consumers are seeking ways to express their disapproval of the Trump administration. Among the targeted brands, Tesla stands at the top. 47% of those surveyed said they wouldn't buy a car from the firm led by top Trump donor and advisor Elon Musk. The sentiment is already being felt at the EV giant. Tesla sales in the EU are down 49% on the year. Not everyone is convinced, though.
It's the first thing people think of to try, but I doubt it'll do much.
And in an era of globalized corporate ownership and production, even finding the right target can be difficult. Many American brands are now owned by foreign multinationals, and many, like Coca-Cola, produce their stock for the European market in European facilities using European labor.
Brian Quinn with that report, and that's it for business.
All right, thank you very much. That's Yuka Raye with that business update for us.